Good morning. The United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, known as ICE, continues to roil the nation with its increasingly forceful operations. Today, January 27, 2026, we delve into the agency's true powers, the sheer scale of its deportations, and why its presence is particularly felt in Minnesota. ICE, an abbreviation for United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is a federal law enforcement agency responsible for customs and immigration matters. It was established in 2003, merging several agencies under the newly formed Department of Homeland Security, itself a direct response to the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. ICE is structured into three main operational directorates: Homeland Security Investigations, or HSI, Enforcement and Removal Operations, or ERO, and the Office of the Principal Legal Advisor. A fourth unit, Management and Administration, supports these operations. Most commonly, the public encounters HSI and ERO personnel. According to ICE, ERO's mandate is to enforce United States immigration laws both within and beyond the nation's borders. Their operations target anyone suspected of violating these laws, particularly individuals deemed a threat to national and public security. HSI, on the other hand, focuses on combating transnational crime, investigating and disrupting activities such as drug and human trafficking, illegal arms dealing, financial crimes, and terrorist networks. ICE has not been without controversy. Its chief, Gregory Bovino, has drawn criticism for his preferred attire, which many critics liken to uniforms from the Nazi era. Financially, the agency has seen a dramatic boost. In fiscal year 2024, ICE's budget stood at $9.8 billion. Under the Trump administration, this figure was nearly tripled for 2025, reaching $28 billion. By 2029, ICE is slated to receive a staggering $75 billion, making it the best equipped law enforcement agency in the United States. This expansion is also reflected in its workforce. ICE now reports employing 22,000 people, more than doubling its staff within a single year. Before the Trump administration took office, it had 10,000 employees. This growth was fueled by a massive $100 million recruitment campaign targeting qualified, patriotic Americans. Recruits were offered incentives like hiring bonuses of up to $50,000, student loan reimbursements, and annual salaries nearing $90,000. Critics, however, point to a significant reduction in training, shortened from several months to just a few weeks, with a 5-week Spanish language course notably cut. Previous age restrictions for hiring were also drastically relaxed. The recruitment advertisements, reminiscent of United States Army campaigns during the First and Second World Wars, famously featured the slogan, "America needs you." Beyond border control, ICE's duties include monitoring unauthorized migration. Its officers are authorized to carry weapons, conduct raids, make arrests, detain individuals while processing their cases, and carry out deportations for immigration law violations. Legal interpretations of ICE's powers are constantly evolving. In September, the Supreme Court temporarily suspended a California judicial order that had prohibited ICE agents from stopping and arresting individuals based solely on ethnic characteristics. Furthermore, a Minnesota state court ruled in January that ICE personnel cannot arrest peaceful demonstrators or use tear gas against them. Arrests without a judicial warrant or the property owner's permission are generally restricted to public spaces. However, a recent internal memo reportedly permits agents to enter homes without a search warrant, a practice widely considered unconstitutional. Generally, ICE employees operate under federal law, which supersedes state law. This means that if federal law enforcement actions conflict with state law, agents cannot be prosecuted under state statutes. Like other law enforcement officers, ICE agents are bound by proportionality. They cannot use excessive force, despite Vice President J.D. Vance's claims to the contrary. Absolute immunity does not apply to ICE personnel. The numbers are striking. In less than 11 months, the United States government states ICE has deported 605,000 people, with an additional 1.9 million migrants reported to have voluntarily self-deported. By late November, 65,000 people were in ICE custody, according to the Transactional Records Access Clearinghouse. The Washington Post reported in April of 2025 that the government set an even higher target for that year, 1 million migrant deportations. To achieve these goals, ICE forces often employ brutal tactics, appearing masked and in large numbers at locations believed to house significant numbers of undocumented migrants, such as factories, shopping centers, courthouses, and schools. Minors are arrested or used as leverage against their parents, and even pregnant women and grandparents are not safe from detention. New deportation centers have been established, including one known as Alligator Alcatraz in Florida's Everglades, where lawyers describe conditions as undignified. A particularly controversial incident in March saw 283 Venezuelans deported to a high-security prison in El Salvador. In early 2026, ICE operations have been particularly active in Minnesota, though the exact reasons remain somewhat unclear. On January 6th, the United States government announced a large-scale raid with thousands of officers targeting Minneapolis's Somali community, citing an alleged fraud scandal. Critics, however, accuse the White House of deliberately targeting democratically governed states and cities to intimidate politicians and residents. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz are both Democrats. Governor Walz was the Democratic vice presidential candidate in the 2024 election, and some observers believe President Trump holds a particular grudge against him. Democratic Representative Emma Greenman told NBC, "They are trying to break us." She described Minnesota as a success story of multi-ethnic democracy and immigration, and thus a thorn in the side of authoritarian politics. Similar large-scale, aggressively staged actions against immigrants in liberal strongholds like Chicago, Los Angeles, and Portland last summer also triggered massive protests. This ongoing expansion and the accompanying controversies underscore the deep divisions within the United States regarding immigration policy and law enforcement tactics. Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. This video was generated using artificial intelligence. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more updates. See you next time.